Hey everyone! If you're planning events, I imagine that you most likely have moved many of your events online by now or are considering it, given we're unfortunately still dealing with this pandemic. For the past several months, JDC Events has been positioning many organizations to reimagine their events online, which has proven to be of great value in the ability to continue to spread your messages. And in doing that, we've noticed many things where there are some who had never planned a digital event before and others who had never even attended one. So I thought I'd put together the top 5 things to know when planning a virtual event. There are some who think that the first step is to identify the platform when planning a virtual event, and this is actually not the case. Your first step needs to be to understand your strategy. What is it that you're trying to achieve? This virtual event planning is more than just moving your in-person event online. There are some who think that you can do that, but live events and virtual events, they are not mutually exclusive. They each have their own power and their own characteristics. So you just can't do what you've done in person online. You have to create a whole other experience for your guests when they get online. So you need to think through, what is it that you want them to do? Do you need engagement of any sort? What kind of engagement? Are you featuring roundtables? Are you featuring keynote presentations? What about awards? What about a virtual trade show? Think through exactly what you want people to do once they get onto the platform. And then your strategy will drive the platform discussion from there. If you're already planning events, you might think that you have enough on your team to manage a virtual event. Depending upon the breadth and the scope of your event, you most likely are going to need more people to help to support it. What's interesting about virtual events is that they can require at least 1 to 2 times more work than what you put into a live event. So it's really up to you to look at the staff that you have. You'll need some capabilities that are more so production oriented to help you in that. But you're also going to need to make sure that you have enough people. Let's just talk about speakers. Speaker management. There's onboarding, there's trainings, there's recording, there's editing. There are so many different details that will go into pulling together the details for a speaker to participate at your virtual event. This is not the format where anything can happen last minute. So you're going to need to make sure that you have enough time and enough people to pull all of the details together. In the last segment, I mentioned that the labor to pull together a virtual event is much more intensive than an in-person event. And because of that, I would recommend that you increase your marketing and your planning time. And so there are many platforms that will give you a benchmark as to how long it takes to program certain types of events. And depending upon the breadth and scope of your event, I would use that time as a guide and increase it if you can. That way it'll allow you much more time to customize, much more time to train on it, to make sure those that are involved with it become familiar with it and understand how to actually use the platform. And then of course there's the marketing. It's important to market your event even more so when it's virtual. Think about when you're going to an in-person event. You may buy airfare or hotel arrangements, those sorts of details, but you don't when it's virtual. So it's important to continue to stay out ahead of people and in front of them in promoting your event, making it very exciting for them and helping them to become engaged with it beforehand. As you get closer in, increase your marketing time so that they in fact know when to show up and that they'll be there ready and willing and excited to participate. So let me ask you a question. Has being online these past few months caused any sort of burnout or fatigue of any sort? Yes? Maybe? If so, you are not alone. That's why when planning a virtual event, you really should think in terms of short and engaging segments. You are delivering content, but peppered into that content should be some strategic, engaging elements. whether it's gamification or polling, demonstrations, tastings. Maybe it's a virtual trade show booth where I can talk one-on-one by video with people. You want to make sure that people are not just being talked at, but they need to engage with the platform and with the people attending. That's how you create the meaningful interactions and the memorable interactions for guests. What you create in person, the elements of it, the strategy of it. We talked earlier about strategy, knowing exactly what you want people to get out of this particular event. You can translate that online. And so yes, it's not in the same way as it would be in person, but online, the same type of elements can still be executed. So that's why it's important to know your value. You can still deliver meaningful connections, expertise, knowledge, and engagement online. So the platform really shouldn't be the deciding factor that it has to be of less value, because you're still giving people the same thing that they would have gotten in person. It's just being delivered online. So don't sell yourself short. Make sure that you find a way as you market and as you first and foremost develop your strategy, find a way to convey your value.